Hello everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and this reading is going to be for Donald John Trump's January 2022. Whew. Anyway, so I'm wishing you the best for this new year, as always, this new year and beyond. But let me focus in on Mr. Flump and we'll see what comes through. Okay, hold on, let me drop the camera down. Okay, so I sat in meditation for a moment and feeling into him. It's just, man, his energy is just so low. It's not fun to be in it. So I pulled myself out of his, because I'm an empath, so I pulled myself out of his energy, set the intention for it to go into the cards only, and I'm just going to try and do it like, cards, table, hands here. But I'm starting off with maybe Lenormand by Ryan Edward. It's a combination of the Lenormand and Gypsy. And I'm going to do 3 rows of 9 in order to see if I can, in order to get the situation. All the situations he's going to be in for the month of January. And of course we know that, he's suing the January 6th committee, over them trying to get his financial records. So I'm going to have to use the Kipper to get into those legal, situations. Yeah. So we'll see where this can of worms takes me. We have SCOTUS as well. Because he's still trying to say that he can hold on to his executive privilege, but of course Joe Biden is the one that has control over that. So I don't know. I mean, that's probably going to he's appealed it and it's gone to the Supreme Court. So I don't know. Maybe we'll hear something about that by the end of the month. I know they were asking that I know the committee was asking if SCOTUS could get them, or get a look at it, by the 14th. So, we'll see. But they are looking in all different directions. The fact that they've even, gone after his financial records, I think means that they already have something. Otherwise, why? Why would they? And who have they been? I don't know if they pleaded the 5th or what the deal happened with Alex Jones. Yeah, I think they've all pleaded the 5th. Right, that's right. So, but maybe they already have documents. Anyway, okay, let's just see. What will Trump's situation be for January 2021? 2022. You guys, we're going to be doing that for this next month, aren't we? I don't write many checks, but I know I'm going to mess up when I do. Maybe once I get my taxes all done, I'll have it burned into my brain. Anyway, okay. Donald John Trump's reality. What will be the reality of his life for January 2022. Okay. So bear with me while I draw all the cards. Okay, If I counted right, that's 27. If not, or if need be, I can always draw a few clarifiers, but these are so many cards. Okay, so his real estate, and he's worried about, okay, so house, we have house, hearth, which is about comfort, tree, which is about his health, choices there. Okay, let me get the cards laid out and then I'll, okay, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. All right. Ooh. That doesn't look good with you know who. You guys know what I call her. I'm just gonna say it maybe one more time. I don't know. His whole bag wife. His transactional counterpart. Okay. Yeah, just you know, and if that seems kind of harsh, just remember that green jacket that she wore to visit the children at the camps in the cages that said, "Do you really care?" And what's her name, Stephanie Grisham, in her book, she could not, as hard as she tried, she could not get Melania to not wear that coat, to not wear that jacket, and then she also wouldn't talk about why she made that choice, and she did get a lot of flack for it. Okay, so anyway, but into Dirtbag Don the Con, Mr. Grifter Extraordinaire. Opening up the reading here, we have his real estate assets, his home, his hearth, his home and hearth and safety. We also have his health. The tree, you know, it's the brain up here, and it's our groundedness and roots down here. But it's also one of those cards that kind of sucks up, you know, everything around it. And of course, he's, look how it knights over here to the mountain. So he's, what he's going to be experiencing, because it's what this is about, is, well, we've got, you know, traveling around with this crossroads card here, but just like generally for this month, it has to do with him focusing on his trying to keep his assets, trying to block his assets from being sucked out from underneath him. He's really challenged about that. And of course he's guilty as all get out, and this is his cross to bear. And so with this letter card here, I feel like it has to do with documents that have to do with money and the valuation. So there could be some, well, I don't know if it'll happen this soon, but this could also be the House Committee, the January 6th committee. And okay, so let me look at it from that angle, because I was thinking IRS here, but let me look at it from the January 6th committee angle. If it's, well, because we read on different levels. So besides the January 6th committee, of course, this is him and his, you know, his assets. And he is continuing to just try and stay, you know, keep that flame going, keep it burning, keep this family, you know, grifting situation going. And he does well, he didn't come through here, so I don't see that he has like much control. But what I do see is on this other level of the January 6th, committee, because this is, we could say this is the House and the government, and we do have the government card down here. So this seems to me like he's focused on blocking the committee as much as possible. And he's trying to be really tricky about it. Like if I just read the four corners, so this is his grift, his scam, his fraud, Don the con. Often when I get this card, it feels to me like him because, his orange makeup and used to bleach his gray hair blonde. Now it's just kind of all silver or white because I think like after over a period of time, when you have that much gray hair, it doesn't pick up color at all. Unless you use that, major peroxide stuff, and it probably burns, right? So now you could make your hair pink or blue or purple or something, right? And that might not be painful, but he's not doing that. So this to me is him and his grift. And that is an obstacle to the House committee because he is, that's the one thing we can say is that, he's good at suing. He's a master litigator, or the attorneys are the litigators for him. I hope they don't get paid. And he's down to like the lowest of the low when it comes to, defense, when it comes to attorneys. So anyway, but going with these four corners here, I think something's revealed about his scam and his fraud to the House committee. And it could also involve that something is revealed about his assets out into the public sphere. Just reading these four corners. And because the Garden Parks card, of course, is our social media. So I think secrets do come out because the binder is facing down here too. This is him. This is him in his bloviating hot air and his, predatory stance that he has always taken in life. So I think some secrets come out into social media about him, because this card is up here hanging over him. And I can read this card as being him as well. So it feels like, or it looks like to me, I should say, that secrets come out with social media, and it could be two secrets, but it could also be how he has taken so many risks with our government. So this, and especially this whole 9 box, we have 3 sets of 9 boxes here, 3 by 3s. So I will read these, but the deal is secrets are going to come out about the January 6th. This is my insurrection card, of course. You can see the battle, the duel. And so more is going to come out from the public and over social media, and I think from the interactions with people having the book thrown at them. So all of these people who are being charged, sentenced, being interviewed and sentenced, and and they're so sorry, but he told us to do that. Oh, hold on, let me move my water. And yeah, so it could be that 2 big things come out this month about that. And this could also be the January 6th committee, because this is any, governmental, established, this is the authority, there. Yeah, wow. And then, so 2 things, I think that 2 things, at least 2 major things will be revealed to the committee, and I think we will know about it as well, and it may very well be coming from those people who have been interviewed and sentenced. And there's, I think we're pushing 800 or so on those, 800 of those people. So at the heart of let's read these, since, his card, normally what I would do is if the person's card came through, I would read around, that card, but he didn't come through. But look at this row up here, up at the top. These are all the things that would be weighing down on a person. Well, this person here is, of course, Melania. And she's looking to, this is a divorce card, this is a divorce card, this is a divorce card. And this is hanging over her. She's not, I think the financial situation is blown apart. She's got, she's looking at this fractured sense of reality. She's looking at this painful ending up here. And besides this being dangerous and this being the January 6th, insurrection, the cards that knight to her are up here with the past crossroads. We're dealing with decisions. So she's really thinking hard about how is she going to get out from under this guy. And I'm thinking she's thinking of how to divorce him, and I mean, that's what it looks like to me. And the other thing that is knighting to her is the book card up here. So she's been keeping secret about it, but this is also about laws. It's also a card of projects. So I think this project of how do I get out from under this dirt bag, or she's tired of it. She doesn't have any better scruples than he does, I don't think. But then again, this would be Baron. This is her thinking about Baron. And I don't know, does Baron love his dad? I don't know. These two cards together are awful. They spell to me, though, family clan. So that's what she's looking at. But this hanging down over her is not good. And look at this row that, here's the insurrection in this diagonal here. This is weighing down on her. The insurrection's weighing down on her. The danger of trying to get away from him, maybe. Who knows? Maybe she's been his handler all these years, and maybe she can't get away from him. Right? There's that possibility. Because this card is all about something that has happened for a long time, but then she does have some control here over her peace and happiness. And she's definitely wanting to be independent and get away from him, because the cat card knights to her. And the other card that knights to her is the little tower, which is the legal card. She's wanting to make it legal that she's free of him. Okay, so there's that. That's the main thing going on, though. Besides Melania wanting to get away and divorce him, on another level, this could have to do with everything's just blown apart. Finances are blown apart. She's looking at all of that and wanting to get away. And this line here, this column here, could say that she's already made the decision, or she, like, what else can she do, right? And then she's trying to actually physically do it, physically move and do it. So that's coming down this month for him. I've been seeing it for a long time. I mean, you can go back and look at all those readings. The coffin card is always near her, and often Baron is too. And yeah, decisions, making those choices. Okay, so let's look at this 9 box here. This is a card, so we go with the center card first. This is a card of guilt, his cross to bear, his karma, his painful karma. his painful past, something he can't get out from under, of course. And there's some hidden enemies with this. There's some hidden enemies with this mountain card here. And they have documents. And if I just read, you know, a little bit further, kind of let go of Melania and the family thing, but just looking at this, this could be a huge amount of documents, and it has to do with the money that helped people travel. So we're talking, you know, Jenny Thomas has to be in there. The only thing is I don't know if her money, see, that's the problem. We've got the Publix heiress. She's like 72 or something. We have Jenny Thomas that I discovered just by chance because I was reading on her, because I went through and did all the, I did karmic readings on all the SCOTUSes, each one of the justices. SCOTUSes, there's only one SCOTUS, I'm sorry. All the justices and SCOTUS. And it just came through in his reading that his wife came through. It was using the Kipper, and I'm pretty sure it was using the Kipper, and it had to do with like money, like gifts being given. And I heard in my head she helped fund the insurrection, the travel and all of that. The only thing is, I don't know if that will ever be traced, because it could have been funded through the NRA. You know, because the NRA, hold on, I have some notes. I have a mess of like handwritten notes here. Yeah, I got this early one morning when I saw these numbers somewhere, that the main reason Trump has had support from the other GOP, you know, all the congressmen and senators, it's because they're compromised, and the way they got compromised was the money that came in from the NRA. There was $16.3 million for the 2020 election, and 4.2 of it went to support Trump, and 12.2 went to oppose Biden. So that came in from the NRA, and of course they run those shell companies, you know, but it went from the NRA like into the RNC, and it didn't, you know, those things are hidden. You can't tell, right? So all a person would have to do would be to donate to the NRA. You know, and it might not be shown how much they did donate. That's the thing. That's the problem. But I can say for sure that Jenny Thomas, I'm sure that she had something to do with donating money. I don't know if Clarence did himself, but he would try to protect her. And I don't know if there's any tie to Eastman and Jenny Thomas. Somebody left a comment about that happening, but I don't know about that. But you know, I mean, I would imagine they are all in on it. All of these guys that are supporting Trump have all put everything into it, because everything they can into it, because they're compromised themselves and they're trying to cover their own, you know, CYOA, right? As they, you know, they support him and protect themselves at the same time is basically what they're doing. So it's pretty simple. And that reading I did a long time ago. Well, no, I don't know. Was it 5 months ago? I forget. I did a reading to see what would happen to all the guilty reps from the 1/6 insurrection, and I got that they're all going down. Anybody who was involved would pay the price. So that's what this card here is. This is the card of, you know, it's like a spiritual law of paying the price. If this is him thinking he can have some faith in people, I would say no, because he has hidden enemies, because again, they are under the CYOA rule. And the documents are going to come out because there are so many of them. And then what do you guys think this card's all about? I mean, it's about something that moves across the land. This is a domestic card. The locomotion has to do with moving goods and people across the land. So I think that it's very possible that this month, I can't say that it'll be the beginning of the month, but if we did go like, beginning, middle, and end, it's possible that something comes out that proves how guilty he is. It illuminates not only all the people involved, but that he had something to do with bringing people in. And if it's not, even if he comes out clean on that front, we can still see here that this 9-box spread shows how he tried to block any like military, National Guard, whatever support from the 1/6, or from the capital. This could be the capital, but this could be the capital too. You can see how he had control. But this is more like looking into the future. I wasn't asking about the past. But this shows revealing, this card shows revealing both the fox and the moon. The moon could be that by the end, the clue here might be that by the end of the month we have all the documents that prove who helped bring people in and who, actually paid for it. And that's the thing, he can go down for a wire fraud too. Because if he had anything to do with money being transferred, because everything goes wired nowadays, right? There are any digital, electronic paying out of cash to get these people, moved. Yeah, that's going to come out too. Okay, so let's see what else before I use the Kipper. I feel like this is just more about Melania. But she's headed this direction. She's headed in a battle towards him, but she's looking out behind her back and it's like, ooh, I don't want to be involved in any of this. But this is hanging down over her. The insurrection, the danger, the painful ending, the major choice she has to make. So let me focus over here before I close this up. Well, let's see. Is there anything else tonight around? Yeah, let's look at, okay, the cross knighting up here to the crossroads, the pathway, shows that it's a painful choice. Yeah, it's just a painful choice that she's making. That's what's going on there, and that's for her independence. But for him, he's at a crossroads. And I think he's probably wondering, like, how can he get free of it? How can he get out of this entanglement? This is a cat and another cat playing with balls of yarn. It's like, yeah. This moon card, I think, speaks to his family and his reputation and their reputation, and because it knights up here to the crossroads, they're at a crossroads. Oops, for their reputation. With the reputation, the whole family, the Trump crime family, and how they've tried to just keep filling their coffers and sucking money from the public any way they can, because that's what he is. He's just a major grifter. A really interesting document is to find that New York Times article where they dove into, it's pages and pages and pages, but I'll never forget reading that. Where they dove into, Fred Trump's empire and how he had fixed it the best he could so that all their money stayed in the family. And even though he had all these, Fred Sr. had all these, federal grants to create the buildings that he created, that he built, he still tried to take as much as he could back in taxes. So anyway, but the short story with that whole long article is I remember that by the time Trump was 8 years old, he was a millionaire. And by 2 years old, he had, I can't remember how many hundreds of $1,000s coming in, because the dad had set up the trust funds that way. And yeah, and when he died, I think there was over $1 billion in assets, but he managed to keep it away from the government. Yeah, so anyway, moving forward over here, yeah, because I feel like this is all about his guilt that's going to come out, and this is all about Melania and their divorce. So over here, I'm feeling like his heart is enraged, his heart is inflamed, secrets are hanging over him that are going to come out from the public's, everywhere, social media, everywhere, and it's all about the insurrection. And oh, you know what else? If I take Baron out of the picture and use a different meaning for this card, which is some new start, I think that what else could be revealed to the public or from the public is that he used the whole situation as a means to attract and seduce and grift to build his own empire. Because that's what he's done. So that, I think, is what will be, something else will be further revealed. So, okay, I feel complete with this one. Let's use use a Kipper and see how it's going to go for him legally this month. Okay, so it's Tiro Marchetti's Kipper, of course, and these cards are bigger, so I'll do 21. Let's look at Trump's legal situation and even the future for his January 2022. Oh, I need to activate some cards. Okay, that's Melania. This could be, it's possible that it's Ivana, but it could also be just any supportive woman, like the Publix heiress. I don't know that Rebecca Mercer's in there anymore with those guys. But, Jenny Thomas, all of that. That would be that. Okay, let's see. Let me get to the other, because we have so many people cards. This will be either one of Don Jr. or Eric, or it could even be Jared as well. And then the daughter, of course, this will be Ivanka. And let's see, I've got to figure out. This will be my January 6th committee. That will be him. The main man will be him, because that's how it always goes. You've got the main person and then their spouse or partner. Okay. Yeah. So there's still the gentleman, the dude, the older dude. Where's he? This would have to be Baron, even though it's a girl. The mature man is going to have to be who? Who would be that? Some older... You know what? These two, for male and female, I'll go with the gender, but I'm going to have to put them in a basket of this could be any of his... this could be Bannon, this could be Roger Stone, could be anybody that supports him. Unless this comes through in a different way... No, I won't. I'll keep that. I'll keep these people as being supportive, female and male, to Trump. Okay. So that'll take care of all of that. Let's do it this way. When it comes to court, that would be actually documents coming out of court proceedings. When it comes to adjudication, this is going to have to be, well, shoot, this could be the committee as well. Maybe I should change it as some, maybe I should leave the community card as being just something that comes out from the public and how we all, feel about it. Let's do that. This I'm going to have to leave for the January 6th committee, because while they can refer, documents and this whole situation, the information they've gathered, they can't actually bring down any formal, court proceedings. It has to go to the United States Attorney General, and then, of course, the DOJ that's what that's all about. So, okay, now that I've got that straight. Okay, so it's important to activate our cards when you have all those people cards in there. Okay, Trump, Donald John Trump's January 2022. Okay. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Okay. The worst card in the entire deck. And that's opening up his reading. For the whole month. Yeah, I've been feeling like, oh, actually I need to go up as far as I can. I have been feeling like this will be an awful month for him, because I keep sensing that the committee is going to make some major headway. I mean, and logically too, we have to think about the fact that they only have so much time. And they have, it turns out, and that came through, I think, in it was last week, the weeks before, in the USA events, I'm pretty sure something came through in one of those readings that I did that showed that they were still working, and they were. It turns out they were. They've been working, even on Christmas vacation, even over, when everybody else left, went over the holidays. A lot of them didn't. I didn't know if they were going to be bringing work home. Let's see, does that fit? Just barely. Okay. Let me sink into this for a moment. He came through up there on the top, and I don't like him being at the top because that shows that he has a little more control. Oh, crap. But, they're back to back. They're not. See, if they were together, those cards would be like that. They're looking and facing each other. They are not getting along at all. And of course we know that this is Trump and this is Melania. I don't know that this is Barron down here. Well, it could be. I mean, I assigned Barron to be this card, but it could also be like some new start. Anyway. Yeah, shoot. Okay, so this is my tortured with worry and stress. This is the Nine of Swords in the tarot. But it's actually worse in this deck because there's there's some excessive demands when it comes through with this card where you can't get out from under it. And it's a card of nightmares. It's a card of hangovers. It's a card of violence and self-destruction. So because it opens up the reading, I think that he's, all those words I just said, self-destructing, drinking, hangovers, drugs, and his his own inner violence. And then the people that that's what it is. He's worried about people that were that helped him get the money that he has and accumulate the fortune that he has, and the people who have been those partnerships. And look at here's Ivanka. Look at this. Wow. Okay, so anyway, he's worried about these people turning on him. In his astrology chart, I was looking at it this morning and got a different angle on it. He has so many aspects to show what a codependent person he is, completely dependent on his family, and he was from the get-go. Of course, you can imagine with his dad and his dad's money, and that type of control. And that was all he had. He didn't have love, but he didn't deserve it. Otherwise he would have chosen a more loving family, and he didn't. But he did choose a wealthy family to incarnate into, and that's the deal. He's in major worry and stress. He's under this level of just major stress over who these people, the people who helped him get to where he is, and if they're going to be talking to the committee. Reading the four corners, this is the committee, because remember I signed this card to be the committee. This is the committee that he's really worried about, even though he acts a different way. It's all a big facade. And he sees this coming at him for quite some time, quite a long time. The journey card, it can also be like the journey of a person's soul. It's always the movement. And of course, he's hoping to stay with Melania, but I don't think that's going to happen. This is also the card of wanting to get out of Dodge, right? I mean, of course he's wanting to get out of Dodge. Yeah. But it's also him just wanting to get out from underneath it and leave it all behind. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that, because I think new things are going to come out. Yeah. So this is interesting. I'll look at that over there a little bit more. But let's stick with this right here. No, actually, let's go with him. Let's go with his card in this 9-box square here first. So he's up here. He does have some control, but he's going back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. I feel like I don't know what the deadline is with this January 6th committee, but I feel like it's going to take more than a year. It could even take a couple of years, where he's being, he's in this state of mind, this state of just living under that. And I feel like it really is going to affect his health. He knights down here to the imprisonment card. This great fortune this card it doesn't mean about lovers. It just has to do with like people who successfully join together to create something. This great fortune is really not great fortune because of the thievery card that touches it, and the toils and labor card that I know I've jumped out of this corner here, square here, but this corner over here, Knights to the great fortune. These two cards here are terrible, and they take away the great fortune here. But it does show me that this is his great fortune has come from money laundering off of the backs of people. And he has stolen from people. And there are lots of, I think, people have been successfully, in partnership. He's bonded with these people. And this has to do with his daughter. And I don't have Jared's card here, but, they go together, at least for a while. Who knows if they'll stay together, but this is Ivanka in bed with him. Ooh, I didn't mean to say it that way. Bonded with him. And that it might be that is distracting him. He might, I think the guy's a born psychopath, meaning that, of course he's narcissistic because all psychopaths are also narcissist and sociopaths. That's the way it works. When you say psychopath, it's the worst. Not all narcissists are psychopaths or sociopaths, but the prevailing attitudes with a person who's that psychopathic is that they don't have any compassion or empathy for other people. But if he has any, it would be for, daddy's little princess. But I don't think he does. And look what card touches her. Look at this. Oops. Look at this line. I've got these sleeves are a little too long here. This line here from him to, so this is him with control over Ivanka. And it could be Tiffany too, but Tiffany doesn't have anything to do with all this stuff. But because this is the daughter card. So he has some control over Ivanka still. But I think she could be his hidden enemy. Because this is the enemy card. And she's up here with control over, I'm not going to prison, he is. So I think this line here and this card and the Distant Horizons card is all about her hope for the future. And of course it can be our foreign, places. And she's got the change card here. This is all about, what's her face? She's going to do everything she can, and even, run away to a foreign land if she has to not land in jail or do any time in like Club Fed somewhere. And he does have some control over all this right now. But then again, she has control over CYOA, right? Covering her own. And she's going to lie. And, well, she'll lie or she'll cheat. She'll do anything to get what she wants. Now, this marriage card could be her, and it could be showing that this is not only, it's two things. Anybody who's been in bed with him, partner-wise, and this could be also her and her marriage to Jared. And she cares more about being free than staying with him, that's for sure. But she has her children to consider. On another level, this whole, all of this here looks to me like, if I were to just try to bring it into a nutshell, says to me that the whole family is trying to figure out how to get away. And they will if they can. But what if this means that it somehow lands them someday, off in the distant future, in a prison in some foreign country? There would be some justice there, wouldn't there be? Okay, so now I have to focus over here. So the thief card, or thievery or theft card, is all about something that's been stolen, of course, but it's also a card where you lose something because of your irresponsibility. And that's him. Look at this line here, man. Yeah, so this is his month where he's just worried and tortured with stress over his success from the past, where he brought in money. And I think that it might show that something comes out about the travel, these travel arrangements that were made. I think this is about the committee, because here's the committee and the violence and the despair he's in because of that committee, and then how everybody got to the January 6th Capitol. And there's something new that comes out about it, with the four corners there. Okay, and then back to this 9 box, but this is, he is like the thief, and he's in despair, and then all these people who were in bed with him, or who were successful, who made money off of it, or maybe stole money because it went through all these different accounts. I'm thinking that there's some people who made money off of it, and that could be what comes out. Wow. Because what's hiding back here behind her back, and this line here, this vertical line here, tells me that it's right there in their family. And that's what's going to come out from the January 6th committee, is that he had something to do with the money being brought in, right? Because see how great fortune knights down here to the family room, and then back up to the situation that he's in. If we leave him out of it and just call this the violence of the insurrection card, but it can't, we can't leave him out of it, because it comes right back to his family, right into their own intimate space. Even though they tried to get, I guess Don Jr. was texting, trying to tell, had to text Kevin McCarthy and say, call off the hounds, kind of, to get his dad to do things. Anyway, so, yeah, even his own kid, well, I bet you she could. I bet you Ivanka could have gotten to him. But I think they were all trying to tell him, make it stop. And they've been trying, and of course we do know, because I've had that in readings before, that they've been trying to distance, Ivanka has been trying to distance. But then again, Don Jr., still sticks up for him. I think that, I honestly feel like they don't have their own sense of self enough to hold their authority with him. None of the kids do, I don't think, which is quite the issue. Because if they had any integrity, they would have gotten out from under the whole, they would have just left. Ivanka could just be Ivanka Kushner and leave out the whole Trump name. But no, they don't want to do that because of the money. So anyway, between these diagonals here and this diagonal here, and all of these cards around this thievery card, this tells me that I think he's going to lose this month. He's going to lose because of the committee, and he's going to lose the ability to grift. and he's going to lose some of his fortune and lose his marriage, because it knights up here to him. And I think Melania might be taken off, because this knight's to her. Oh my goodness. This might be him looking at a long time, being alone, or I don't know. He's got to be pretty lonely inside. So, yeah, and losing the ability to be dishonest anymore. Because, this is a card of cheaters, thieves and cheaters. The cheaters have been there for a long time, and they've been successful off of him, because that's how it goes, right? But so I'm knighting, there's change coming to all these grifters and cheaters and anybody trying to evade the matter. But just tuning in more into him than anything, because this reading is about him. This, it can be a job change, but his only job is to grift. That's all he's ever done. This card can be a house change. Can be, like moving house or job. Interesting. So, because it's close to Ivanka, I mean, I know they built this big house in like Palm Beach, I guess, but I still see them trying to get the heck out of Dodge. It's all right here. Okay, so the courthouse. This card is all about the charges coming down. It has to do with any hearings, any trials. It's the judicial process. But it's also, because you can see the guy's got these papers here, and he's, going to court, and he has something to present. So, and it's behind Ivanka's back, this change, and she can't do anything about it, and it has to do with the whole Trump reputation. I can't imagine that Melania would, try to do something to enhance her, well, yeah, she could try to enhance her reputation, even of course, if it's at the expense of Ivanka. So there's that possibility, because it's weird. It's like, Ivanka's card knights to, this I think would be her mother. This would be Ivana. But this could also be the stand-in card for Melania's mother. But Melania, this is so weird. Melania has more control than Ivanka does. And maybe it's just because she's going to get out of Dodge. Because, her card knights down here to the foreign card, foreign land. Yeah. So, but anyway, there's changes to Trump's, because look at this line here. There's something new. There's some change in this card knights here. Yeah. 1 up and 2 over. Some new change because of some documents that come out. So it's kind of telling us the same thing, or not kind of, it is exactly telling us the same thing as the Lenormand reading. Wow. Okay. So he's all tied up, of course, with the insurrection for the month of January, of course, at least. And the threat, the major threat, the problem is does Ivanka flip on him to save her own? Yes, of course. And he's trying to control her, but I don't think she will, because, you know, whatever she says or acts, however she says or acts to him, she's going to do something different because of this line here. She'll do whatever she can to get herself free. So I see flippage there with Ivanka. Interesting. Okay, so let me ask some specific questions now. Let's bring in the rest of the deck and reshuffle. And I want to find out okay, so let's see. Will Trump be, and I won't draw as many cards. Will Trump be, actually, let me drop the camera down a little bit. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So I'll just do 10 cards here, and let's find out if Trump will be successful or not. How's his lawsuit against the January 6th committee over his financial records? How's that going to go for him? How'll that go for him? You know, like, is SCOTUS, will they take the case or will they reject it? And then we'll see what other cards, you know, come through. So, but wait, hold on. I have to go from, yeah, I have to come just from his angle. Okay, so how's it going to go for him? Not well. What is making that noise? Oh, got a big old, I have a ginormous button on my sweater. Keeps hitting the table. Oh, there it goes again. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it's going to take some time, but let me move these cards up here. Oops, there's a little more of a glare this way. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so what we have here for this theme, look at this middle row here, that doesn't look too good, does it? And of course it's Melania. He's in oh my goodness. He's worried. He's really, really stressed out and worried about Melania and Ivanka. Maybe he's worried about them flipping. Now, the January 6th committee are the ones with the rules and the regulations that would go to the, would go forward to the Department of Justice eventually. But they're just, the advisory committee. But here's all their documents and communications, and this would include videos. Oh, you know what this is about? This has to do with the videos, because remember he made a bunch of different videos, and they, about the insurrection, like him when he said he was calling it off or whatever. Basically, when he tried to cover his own ass, right, at the end. This would be all text messages, videos, phone conversations, all communications. And this would have to do with him trying to hold off the military, or you know, because he went for a long time without. He went for hours. To, you know, like, to keep himself in power. And yeah, I mean, that's what happened. He just, like, right after losing the election, he had this plan. So these are all of these documents and communications coming out, and this has to do with him trying to you know, use the military in any way, because he was going to try to invoke the Insurrection Act, which would have protected the people at the, you know, he would have protected the rioters. That's what's going to come out, and that's not going to bode well. That's going to really hurt him. And this is also him trying to say that he's the one in charge. He's the one that, you know, he's the one with the executive privilege. But it's not going to go well, and it's going to end. This is a painful ending here. And there are all the documents, videos, phone records, you know, telecom records, everything that will cause this painful ending. And the powers that be have a wealth of that information. Yeah, wow. So this, and I feel like this also brings in the, you know, that information about the who paid to get people in. Because all of that's in there as well. Who made travel arrangements? Who paid money to help get the rioters into the Capitol? But as to will he be successful in his lawsuit against the January 6th committee? Absolutely not. I don't see that happening. And for Ivanka and Melania to show up twice tells me that there's also that pain. Again, here's the divorce card, knighting to her card. And it's touching Ivanka's card, too. So it's like no success for her either. And it might be that he's actually really worried that they're going to pull her in, and she's got some goods or some information. Wow, because they could, you know, they can subpoena anybody they want. Of course, they can plead the fifth, but they can still subpoena. But nobody pleads the fifth unless they've got something to hide. But anyway, this painful ending is going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and just work on these people. No wonder they want to get out of Dodge. And this, you know, this card of being tortured with worry and stress, well, that's the fortune that he's created, and it just goes around and around and around, back and forth, back and forth. Wow. Let me use, not this deck, but let me use a different, let me use a Lenormand to see if they will even, let's see, maybe it's a bigger deck here. There we go. Actually, let's use this one. Oop. Let's see. So my next question is: Will SCOTUS take the case? Will they even take the case, or will they reject it? What are they going to do? I'm thinking that they won't because of that, you know, that ending card, but we had so many other people cards come in there that I'm a little distracted now. Will SCOTUS take this case or reject it? Now, let's see, timing is a challenge. Oh, shoot. I think they might take it. Well, let me move these cards up and draw a bottom layer. They're going to take their time. Well, but this is the card of time's a wasting, right? Time is flowing quickly. This has to do with like a goal and bringing something in. This could be the old crooked geezers on the bench. You know, I mean, it's like, okay. Will they take it? And if they take it, how will it go? It looks to me like they will. 1, 2, 3. This could be a short amount of time. Taking on something new. There's a woman and a man on the bench who don't want to take it, who will say no and try to lessen the danger. And then something could take longer than it should. Time's a wasting. Something new, time's a wasting. But they do want peace. They do want, you know, peace and harmony to prevail. These two cards could have to do with there's enough wise ones that have the goal, but there's not enough of them. That's the thing. But then again, I think it's just that there only needs to be 4 to say no. But dang it, you know, you guys, I have cards of hesitation and taking a long time, and I don't have, you know, like a rejection card. Well, clouds can be rejecting. Yes, let's see what was on the bottom. Rider and bear. Rider's usually good news. Good news for the people in control. I don't know, you guys. It's up in the air, I think. There's flux going on. There's too much flux going on. Whoever this man is tries to minimize. But then again, this can be a man trying to steal. I don't feel like that's right. I feel like it's a man trying to minimize what? Documents? Oh, this could be a man one of the older, yeah, because it touches one of the oldest men on the bench. So would that be Clarence Thomas? Because this card shows somebody whose mind is not very sharp at all and who is very slow and maybe wants to minimize any risk that he has because of his wife. This could, oh shoot, this could be Clarence and Jenny Thomas. Rather than a man and a woman on the bench, this could be Clarence Thomas and his wife. But he's not he's not at the top with power. There's something weighing down on him. Yeah, weighing down on him, and I think he might I think this is Clarence Thomas trying to minimize his loss. So he might try to slow things down. Shoot. Okay, that's about all I'm getting there. Let's see. But will they take the case? I kind of think so. I mean, I'm not seeing any rejection cards here. Will they take it or will they reject it? Will they take it or will they reject it? Yeah, that's committing to it. That's taking it on. Yeah. These are all yes cards. But it's a big burden. Okay, so now let me ask. Let's ask from a different angle. If they take it on, will they vote for it or against it? Will they vote to give the committee his financial records or to not give the financial records? This has to be his financial records. Same cards. There's some timing issue. Okay. Let's get them up a little higher. Okay, so there's obfuscation here, but not a lot of it. A small amount of obfuscation. Again, from this man. It's gotta be, what's his face? Clarence Thomas, but you know, it could be the other ones. This could be the stand-in card for the men who will try to support Trump. Then again, it could be the new justices, right? Like Amy Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh. But will they? Let's see. Are they going to vote for it or against it? You know, enough of them to make it unanimous. This is the vote. This is the vote. But I think this is against it. Because this is a painful loss here, pain and grief. Pain and grief, because maybe they don't have the clarity that they want, and they see that it could take way too much time. But it didn't look like they were going to reject it out. So if they take it on, it feels like they vote. They vote a no. Feels like these are all no. They vote no. This is unknown. This is a no. This is, what do you call it? Just neutral. These are two yes cards, but oh, so maybe what I'm getting here is there's a man that votes yes to take it on, or it might be a couple of men. You know what, I'm sorry, I need to use a different deck without all these extended cards, because, hold on. It's not a traditional, actually, let me use my yes and no. Let me use my yes or no deck, where I've taken out all the, what do you call, neutral cards. So I'm left here with only, you know, there's normally 36 cards. I pulled out all the neutral cards and the maybe cards. So yes or no, will the committee, I'm sorry, not the committee, will SCOTUS, let me confirm first, yes or no, will SCOTUS take, will they even take the case? Will they take the case, yes or no? Oops. That's a yes. That's a no. And that's a no. Okay, well then I don't really need to go further and ask what's going to happen with it, because I think there's not enough of them that'll say, yes, they'll even take it. It's too complicated and they'll kick it out and say no. Okay, well, I could be right or wrong on that one, you know, but I think not, so far is what it looks like. Okay. Thanks, you guys, for hanging in there with me again. Okay, take good care. Happy New Year. Bye.